a huge staple to the culture is how passionate the Spanish people are. And they draw so much energy from that. And it's like, I just want to say, you know, I want to play too. You know?
And my first response is, what's this for?
Yeah,
like, what do all these kilowatt numbers mean on the contract? What's happening here? You're literally sitting there hoping and praying the power stays on in the middle of August.
Did you know that over 30% of people who move abroad end up regretting their decision within the first year? It might sound surprising, but the reality of adapting to a new country isn't always as glamorous as it seems. So what are the challenges that catch so many people off guard? Hola.
Hola.
I'm Greg.
I'm Lisa.
About 3 weeks ago, we had a stressful visit to the local bank. We included the story in one of our previous videos, but to summarize, we walked into the bank planning to open a bank account.
Now, no one in the bank spoke English, and we had a hard time understanding them. It was the first and only time we actually had to use Google Translate. Yeah. So it was super stressful. Super stressful.
But, you know, we later found out that we had opened a business account, a personal account, and signed up for private health insurance. It was horrible.
I know, a couple days later, we called the English-speaking line for that bank, thinking we would be able to get assistance. But the rep couldn't find our account, and her solution was for us to go to the bank and ask for help.
Right. So we just thought, oh no. And that's when we kind of looked at each other, and after a few seconds of silence, we just thought,
did we make the right decision to move here?
Yeah. It's something that never really entered our mind. But when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Because when you're moving to a new country, you do it because of all the things you love. Right. You think about the food, the weather, the people, all of those things. Mm. It's easy to imagine all the fun and amazing experiences that you'll have, but not very many people think. How do we get a library card?
How do I send mail?
How do I get a local television station?
What's the local holiday schedule?
Why can't we use the infantile bathroom in the library?
Who do I call for a medical emergency?
Did I set up the electricity account correctly?
Did I use the best utility company?
Did we open the right bank account?
How do we get our prescriptions?
How do we use our ATM card?
How do we release packages stuck in customs?
How do we transfer money from the US?
How do we make doctor's appointments?
Did we get the best private health insurance?
Why isn't Wise transferring money?
What is Planeta Seguros?
What's the best internet service?
Will the prescription app work on my phone?
How do I order copies from the copy center?
Moving abroad isn't just about packing your bags and hopping on a plane. It's about adapting to the new culture, learning a new language, and often overcoming feelings of isolation. Many people struggle with these challenges, which can lead to regret and missing what's familiar.
Right. So if you've seen some of our videos, you know that we love Spain. But we found ourselves struggling with these challenges too. Lisa and I have spent hours discussing the obstacles and challenges that we're facing. And we wanted to share what has come up for us, just in case you are in a similar situation. And hopefully this makes it a little easier for you to face those obstacles head on.
So we have been on this earth for a long time. Some of us longer than others.
Wow. Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay.
That's not me.
Actually, I'm 50, Greg's 52, to be exact. In those years, we became experts at what the younger kids call adulting. We know how to deal with the bank, set up utilities, complete any service at the post office, set up a business license, an LLC. I mean, you name it, we can handle it or we can figure it out. But when you move to another country with all of its different procedures, you feel like you're 18 all over again. Mm-hmm. And doing everything for the first time. You go from super confident to super insecure and uncertain. With those years of living, we could handle any unforeseen change or difficulty because we knew the US system and how it worked. Mm-hmm. When you move to a new country, it will take time and research to make sure you follow the steps necessary to set up your life.
Right, right. And you don't realize the social network you have until you don't have it anymore. The barista who knows your coffee order, the cashier at the local bakery, the front desk clerk at the gym. I mean, I can go on and on. To go from that to not knowing a single person can be demoralizing, especially for someone like me who loves to talk.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine setting up your utilities in your new country and you do it all online. Then suddenly you get a contract in the mail written all in Spanish, of course. And my first response is, what's this for?
Yeah.
Like, what do all these kilowatt numbers mean on the contract? What's happening here? You're literally sitting there hoping and praying the power stays on in the middle of August. All those important tasks to set up your life could be followed by the nagging question of, did I do it right? It can be stressful, and when you set up your utilities, open your bank account, visit the city hall, waiting for the next appointment to see if you brought everything that they could possibly ask for. You're so paranoid that you bring your birth certificate, your passport, your bank account statement, every visa document ever emailed to you in an effort to do it right. It can be a little overwhelming.
Now, the time difference is another thing. It's a huge barrier to maintaining the same quality of relationships that we had before our move. We are anywhere from 6 to 9 hours from our friends and family in the United States, and we are West Coast people. So everyone that we talk to is about a 9-hour time difference. For example, I have a really close friend who I spoke with every Sunday and texted on a regular basis. And we've only spoken 3 times in the last 7 months. And it's because the times just don't line up. And another thing that you might think is funny, but I'm a huge baseball fan and I love the Dodgers. And they're really good this year. And before moving to Spain, every season I watched all 162 games, and I haven't watched one game this season, and they played about 130 games in first place, by the way. And no Super Bowl, no March Madness, no nothing.
Aw. Okay, switching gears to language. Before moving, we tried hard to learn the language. If you look deeper into our channel, you can follow our language learning journey. So we made it to an intermediate level, but our knowledge is more comprehending it than it is speaking. So communicating is still like a work in progress.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned before, there's a lot of important stuff you have to do when you first get approved with a visa. The bank, the doctor visits, visiting official government offices over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know the language, all these normal tasks kind of suck.
Yeah.
The words they use and the speed that they speak is way above our level of understanding. And of course, we're in their country. We didn't want them to have to speak to us in English, nor did we expect them to. We knew it was our responsibility to understand them and convey what we needed. And actually, we did have times where we were super proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
But oh man, those other times we were like, what the hell just happened in there?
I can vouch for that, for sure. So, I think we're both going to touch on this language piece a little bit because I believe it's super, super important. I believe that language is the biggest thing to consider. Not knowing the language can really impact you socially. And, we're trying very hard to learn. We're pretty good at understanding Spanish and we can communicate. It's like a 2-year-old though, but we can communicate. Now, for some context here, in the United States, we were not the quiet family. When we went to a restaurant or coffee shop, people recognized us because we talked to the staff, we talked to everyone. We were the ones who learned someone's name and we were happy when we had a chance to see them. So, meeting people really connected us to the community. And here in Spain, we don't have that luxury. Without the Spanish language, we really feel like we can't express ourselves. And it makes us feel a little less intelligent, if I'm being honest. Now, some people might say, well, just find an English-speaking community or build a network of English speakers. We are purposely not doing that. We want to become a part of the Spanish community. And that includes communicating in their language, not expecting them to communicate in our language. All those things can make you feel really isolated, especially in Spain, where a huge staple to the culture is how passionate the Spanish people are. And they draw so much energy from that. And it's like, I just want to say, I want to play too.
I know. And we're not saying these things to complain. We know that moving here was a choice that we made. We wanted to make this video to say out loud what we've been experiencing and to help others who may be considering a move to another country.
Right. Now, these are just some of the things that can really bring you down. And when they start to add up, one after the other, it can really become overwhelming. And it's natural to think it could all be much better if we just go back. But we love it here.
Yeah.
And we just keep envisioning the day when we can communicate with the Spanish people freely and provide meaningful contributions to the country. But for now, it gives us motivation to just keep pushing forward, and we'll get there, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
So now here's a question for you. If you're moving to another country, can you minimize the amount of times these feelings come up or eliminate them altogether? Maybe. But for those of you out there who may have advice on how to overcome these challenges of wanting to give up, please do share those in the comments. Our video comments can get pretty spirited sometimes, the discussions, which is awesome. So please do communicate because we do love it. Now, from our perspective, we have a few things we would do differently.
Yeah. We would highly suggest that if you're going to a non-English speaking country, don't make the assumption that everyone speaks English, even if it's a bigger city. Based on what we now know and what we've been experiencing, we would suggest that you invest the majority of your time into learning the language. We're doing a platform called Dreaming Spanish. You can check out those videos on this channel.
So do as much research as possible before moving. What are the best utilities companies? Do you have a furniture store that delivers? What's the best bank? A great resource for these types of questions are Facebook groups, believe it or not, or even Reddit.
Yeah. Find a way to keep your same phone number and make sure you have a plan B in the event that something goes wrong. We ported our phones on Google Voice, and we use Skype to make international calls back to the United States.
Hire experts. There are companies who will help you move from your country to Spain, or companies that will accompany you as translators.
Yes. When you get to your country, do your best to become part of the community. Go to the same coffee shops, the same bakeries, the same fruterias.
Right. Do what the locals do. For example, when we're in the grocery store and I see someone grab a bag of cookies without hesitation, I grab it too.
That's
You know, I just feel like it makes me, feel like I'm one of them. I know it might be over the top, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
But, above all, keep going.
Yeah.
Just remember why you made the change in the first place and just keep going.
Yes. And as always, we're going to keep learning about Spain and exploring all the country has to offer. If you have anything you want to see in Spain or interesting places you want us to check out or questions you want answered, put those in the comments as well.
Yes. And if you haven't yet, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to hit the notification button. That way you'll be notified first when we release our next amazing, exciting, awesome video. Yeah. Thank you for joining us and coming along for the ride. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Venga. Adios.
Adios.